Tubod History reaches throughout time. Tubod in early times is woodland, otherwise known as a virgin forest, where native inhabitants called the Mamanwas have been living. Mamanwas are nomadic in nature. They travel from the hinterlands of Tubod and usually stayed near riverbanks. Mamanwa is derived from the words man, meaning people, and banwa, meaning jungle. A Mamanwa means a man living in the jungle. The Mamanwa tribe is still occupying hinterlands of Tubod, particularly in Barangay Kawilan and Barangay Motorpool. They were very significant in the beginning of building homes for the Tuboranon and the development of Tubod. Agustin Mendez is recognized as the first Christian settler who discovered the woods. He was an immigrant from Ubay, Bohol province during the 19th century when he began to develop Tubod and marked the town in Surigao del Norte's map. It was Agustin Mendez who organized its first Cabeza de Barangay that created the first sitio. Cabeza, in the Philippine occupation of Spain, was adapted to name founding, leader, as well as its Cabizelia or Kagawad, as it is called today. The original Tuboranon, Cabeza de Barangay founding members were the following: Agustin Mendez, Donato Pacatang, Florencio Gallenero, Gabriel Sumania, Isaias Calamba, Marciano Dapar, Galaneda, Basel, Lumayag, and Barros. Mendez led the Cabeza de Barangay. Black Anyang Galaneda was their secretary. The rest were known as Cabeza Council members. To create the name for the newly found sitio, Mendez commissioned a priest from Carrascal, Surigao del Sur, but was not able to come as the means of transportation that time was only through the use of kayak to reach Carrascal to Placer, nearest to Tubod, then via horses to Barangay Timamana. However, Agustin Mendez never stopped dreaming. He requested for a clergyman in Habonga, Agusan del Norte. They cruised to Tubod River to Sabang, point of Lake Mainit, to reach the sitio and celebrate its founding. Christian settlers believed the importance of the first Christian Mass during foundation. This was probably the root of how Tuboranons were raised religious in the Roman Catholic faith. This was also the day when the new sitio's name was conceived. Reverend Father Sanidad officiated the first Mass and declared the new sitio after his name, Sitio Union Sanidad, on the 3rd of April. Sitio Union Sanidad was mainly of rough roads, community nipa houses where only a few people settled. Its progress began with Barangay Timamana in Placer, where Agustin Mendez first established residence and cultivated farmlands day in and out. He then later transferred in his family in Poblacion Tubod. Later, through an order from constituted authorities, Sitio Union Sanidad was declared as independent from Barangay Timamana and was called Barangay Tubod come 1908. With Agustin Mendez leading the barangay, he became its first leader and originator, barrio lieutenant, and named the woods Tubod. The early barangay Tubod had a population roughly 100 people, mostly immigrants from Bohol, Cebu, Leyte, Camiguin, and Surigao. Its main socio-agricultural sources of income were from abaca, coffee, rice, as well as root crops such as obi, kamote, and calibre. As progress continued, it became a large source of coconuts, copra, and began its own irrigated rice farming. Barangay Tubod is surrounded by mountainous terrains, hills, and the famous Mount Maniayam standing overlooking the town. Pasture lands and mountain ranges, the presence of natural deposits and mineral resources like gold, silver, copper, chromate, and iron are all God's blessing for the Tuboranon to this very day. Tuboranon religious undertaking, Mr. Mendez donating 2 solid wood sculptured patron saint Peter and Paul, sculptured on 19th century. All the way, town feast falls every June 28 to 29 each year. Thus, Tubod founding hero Agustin Mendez legacy founded Tubod and took several donations for municipal and Roman Catholic Church settlement. Eventually, as per Municipal Resolution of 1989, asserts Mr. Agustin Mendez, Tuboranon local or municipal hero of our time. Apparently, series of donations from portion of Truckland in order to entice people and capture to live. The political battle exists in Tubod. It led by Mr. Agustin Mendez, establishing Tubod and inherited by famous Tuboranon leaders. They were appointed and elected based on our Tubod Municipal Archives record. Tubod was previously part of the municipality of Mainit, Surigao del Norte. It created by virtue of Executive Order number 269, dated September 18, 1957. As to end, it is greatly acknowledged that our clan president, Ricky Mendez Daposala, initiates, with truly supported by Attorney Luel Mendez, drafted the executive order declaring Agustin Ganot Mendez as Tubod founding hero and declaring every 28th day of August as a special non-working holiday for the municipality of Tubod, Surigao del Norte, and General Paulino Mendez and Attorney Glenn Pangapalan for their full support for this endeavor. Truly preserved. Narrated by Marissa Gallenero. Thank you for listening.